Hi, I'm Rappler Entertainment reporter Isa Abad.
And I'm Rappler Entertainment reporter Juno Reyes.
And welcome to Stand By Me, Rappler's talk show on all things fandom.
So for today's very special episode of Stand By Me, we have Rappler's very own fangirl and fanboy, Jaira, Roxas, and Russell.
Hi! Hi!
So, just a quick introduction lang, please.
Oo. Okay.
Ikaw yan! Sige. Hi, I'm Russell Pu. I'm one of the digital communication specialists for Rappler. I mostly stan K-pop groups, mostly girl groups. Yung main na groups ko are Twice, Le Sserafim, Red Velvet. Ang daming kong group, pero basta lang yung... Basta marami sila. Check mo lang yung following ko. Char.
Nag-promote.
Hi
Right.
po, I'm Jaira. I'm a fan of P-pop and I produce videos, shows here at Rappler.
Okay. Ayan, so for this episode, we're gonna talk about your own fangirl and fanboy experience, especially since this whole show is all about our fan lives as a fan. So, for starters, can you share with us which of your favorite artists have you had the chance of working with?
Sige, ako muna. So,
Hindi siya okay.
medyo shy ako, shy. I remember covering the concerts of ITZY, IVE, and Taeyeon. So, I've watched like 3 concerts this year that I've covered. Tapos, I also remember watching Twice, which I wrote a recap about, and Red Velvet.
How about you, Jai?
Ako naman, I've covered.
Reporter yun.
No, I've tried covering events for SB19, Alamat. I also covered P-pop fans, because they put up events, and I also have tried covering that. And then when P-pop groups come to live jam, so we work
Yeah,
with
you're
them.
in charge of that.
Yes. I try to produce live jam. So yun, pumunta sila dito. Di yun, nakakatrabaho natin sila.
Yun. So, ang dami niyong na-mention na different groups and artists. So, how would you say the experience covering all of these artists is like? Like, may difference ba covering artists na you're a fan of compared to covering artists na hindi ka masyadong fan?
For me, may difference. Kasi syempre, biased ka
Oh.
towards
Yeah.
that person, di ba? For example, kapag darating specifically, kapag P-pop acts yung live jam artist natin, syempre, hinahype natin, di ba? Personally, hinahype ko talaga sila. Tapos, mas excited, mas marami kang nilook forward to.
Mas
Pero,
nakaka-pressure ba?
hindi.
Or is that a good kind of pressure?
Feeling ko it's a good kind of pressure kasi aside from personally, I wanted to do well in working with them. Parang nape-pressure din ako na, hindi naman nape-pressure ako, pero parang ang dami kong nilook forward na, doing this would be a great step for their career, parang ganon.
Ako siguro as like a K-pop fan, since medyo mas global yung K-pop, medyo there's a sense of like pressure din to like, to keep up to the standards and of making sure na everything makes sense, everything medyo may relate sa fans. It's really much pressure na din like when you cover your favorite groups kasi, kasi you know the group, you follow the group, you feel invested in the group. So you really want to make sure na, your heart is poured out into it. And medyo very, as a Pisces, very very hard on my sleeve. So parang you want to also do them justice. You also want to put their songs justice. Ganun.
Pero agree. I mean, as someone who also do cover events for K-pop.
Hello!
Yun, sobrang siya. Feeling ko kasi there's so much opportunity na pwedeng, not so much opportunity, but it's not every time that you get the chance to do this for your favorite artist. So might as well
You do
grab
it
it.
well.
Yeah. Be the best that you can be. So every time that I think you also know this, every time that we say na parang this is part of our work, other people would say na, swerte mo naman, saya siguro ng trabaho ko.
Masaya naman kasi talaga.
Masaya naman, pero it's not always like that. I mean, especially for like concert days or event days. Like, while people are getting hyped up na, OMG, you're gonna see your favorite artist. Honestly, all the things you can think of, is like, oh my God, may deadlines ako, may outputs ako. So,
Exactly.
yeah, can you just walk us through, like, ano ba usually yung ginagawa nyo in terms of, like, these events?
I think for my end, it's usually live tweets din and also yung mga event articles. So, when you do live tweet, for example, for a concert, you really have to make sure na you follow the requirements of the promoter. Like, for example, if there's no photos, no videos, you have to adjust din and try to find ways to, interact with fans pa rin. And minsan, there's always a problem signal. Since, for example, yung phone signal ko, especially since yung main venues, hindi na-reach, mahihirapan ka talaga to tweet. So, sometimes, like, naghahabol ka or you're trying to find Wi-Fi inside the arena just to live tweet. So it's really a lot of stress. So really going through the event, you also have to think talaga what are the quotes that you want to highlight, kasi especially if you're a K-pop artist, they would have a lot of faith about the Philippines, especially since very loud yung crowd, very energetic yung crowd sa Pilipinas. So you really have to kailan mo is masagap yung mga quotes nila about the energy in the Philippines.
Yeah.
How about you, Jai?
Sa akin naman, nakakatawa. Parang hindi naman kasi palagi. Like, hindi ako palaging nagko-cover, di ba? Ano lang, kapag hindi na kayo available. Di ba, usually ganon. You ask for help sa other units, ganyan. Ang kagaya nung kay Ross, ganon din, you try to capture, ginagawa nyo rin naman. You try to capture the vibe, ganyan. There was just one time, it's like the first time ever, na nabudol ako ng mga prod boys namin na magdala ng professional na camera sa isang coverage. Tapos, syempre, alam ko naman na, dahil professional camera siya, mabigat siya. Sobrang lala, mabigat siya. Tapos, syempre, hindi kasi pwede magdala ng tripod that time sa venue. So, hahandhad mo yung camera. Tapos, it was the time na na-realize ko na, shucks, parang napasubo yata ako dito. Pero, it was fun kasi as you cover, ang dami mong iniisip. Ang dami mong in-overthink. But it's also fun because at the back of my mind, naiisip ko na, shucks, I'm so privileged to be able to do this and somehow still enjoy that event. So, I think hindi ko alam, baka sa akin lang. Or I think you also can relate na more than the pressures of the job, we always look and realize na it's emotional. No, it is always fun and nice that we're given these opportunities.
Yes. How about sa live jam? Like, anong ginagawa mo sa live jam?
Hindi kapag live jam, it's really the prod boys. I mean, hindi naman ako masyadong whatever. Hindi, it's really the boys. Yung prod boys talaga yung career pag live jam. Kasi syempre...
So, like, do you talk to your favorite artists sa live jam? Or, like, you have the chance to, like, interact with them closely and stuff like that?
Oo. Meron naman kasi talaga. Kasi syempre, you get to coordinate with them, with their managers, ganyan. So, nakakausap mo sila and you get... that's one fun thing. You get to see how they act before they go on stage, before they get to perform. And I really think that's really the charm of live jam, na you get to see these acts in a very small and personal space. So, yun, although yes, nakaka-amaze na naalala niyo yung first time na pumunta yung Alamat sa live jam. It was so cool, kasi alam ko na makulit sila, pero hindi mawala sa isip
sila
ko.
mag-air?
Hindi. Nung February yata.
Okay.
Alam ko na makulit sila, pero hindi ko in-expect na ganun yung level ng kulit nila. Tapos, nagkape pa sila. Tapos, parang nauga ako na, hi. Sobrang, so parang, it's fun kasi you get to see the different side of these people you idolize.
True, like, yeah, you get to see and hear a lot of things that not every fan get the chance to do so. And with that's a lot of, like, advantages and disadvantages, which we're gonna talk about later. But going back to the question, I think sa akin nang, nag-share.
Mag-share ka talaga, Juno
We also cover musicians. Pero, kasi usually for these events, people would think na parang our job is mainly just limited to the event. Na kapag tapos na yung concert, tapos na lahat. No, te, nagsisimula pa lang yan.
Exactly.
Before pa mag-start yung concert, ang dami mo nang inaaral also. Especially like, I mean, you're lucky if you're familiar with the group. Pero kapag hindi mo favorite yan and hindi mo kilala yan, you have to do your research. Kasi it would be unfair also for the performers kapag hindi mo sila kilala, hindi ka man nag-prepare kung, oh my God, ano kaya ipa-perform nila, ano kaya pwedeng mangyari sa show. So, ang dami talagang behind the scenes. Just like the way that the artists are also preparing for the show, you also, as someone who covers the event, also prepare a lot for the show. Tapos, ayun, hindi nga lang siya nagtatapos kasi like, ang dami, usually yung post-event ganache yung ang dami. So, it's not always fun.
Pero I noticed din na parang when you really do your research, like when you ask them super specific questions, na-appreciate nila, mas na-appreciate nila. Like they tell you, oh, parang that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Parang ganun. So,
That's what you go for. At saka kapag talaga gusto mo, you listen. Kasi, you have to adapt. Like, sometimes you prepare 3 questions and all of those 3 questions were already asked
By
before.
other outlets.
So, you have to adapt also. Dapat doon nakikita yung research mo mismo.
And I think it's also a big part for you to establish connection with the artist.
yeah.
Kasi, ba't ka tumingin eh?
Baka yung tanong pa yan. Okay,
sorry.
sige. Slow down.
Okay. Pero yun, sige.
Okay, connection. The keyword.
Okay.
Ayun. So basically, like from everything you've mentioned, live tweeting and then preparing the questions and stuff, it's a lot of work, like kahit fun siya. So, can you share the pros or the good parts of being able to cover your favorite artists or stars?
More than what you've said.
The good part?
Yeah.
Free.
Tama, pwede.
We have to talk about it.
I mean,
Girly.
Kasi
Totoo.
ang mahal isang
Tama
concert,
naman.
almost
Yeah.
isang ticket sa bawat concert is like 10,000,
Yeah.
15,000.
Tama.
Usually, if you're a media person, you get to have like one of the best seats.
Yeah.
But you also have to consider, kasi I think not everyone is familiar, pero usually yung media people, they won't know which seats do they have.
On
Like,
the day.
usually the day before or like a week before. So, hindi yun siya assurance. So, for example, favorite group mo yan, tapos gusto mo mag-rely sa media pass. Ang dami rin kasing, diba? Like, do you want to work or do you want to have fun? So, do you want to have fun? Tapos yun. So, mamaya, tatakan natin yan. But basically, like, sobrang nakakatipid to. Ayun lang, nag-share ako. Ininahan ko kayo.
Tama.
Ikaw, anong good thing?
Good thing for me. Siguro I guess a good thing for me when I work is like seeing them up close. Like, especially if di ka familiar sobra with the artist. Like, for example, si Nateon, hindi ko gaano alam na she does a lot of fan service during her concerts. Like, you would see someone medyo as reserved as Taeyeon, be more intimate, ganun. But the fact that she interacts with her fans, like, yung mga little details that you see na hindi mo na-notice noon, pero you would notice it now. That's the things I appreciate.
Tama.
Agree.
Hindi, feeling ko, sabi niyo na yun yung good thing for me. Oo, parang yun, hindi ko alam, feeling ko yun yung rule that it's free and you get the opportunity to see them up close.
True.
I think also kasi din...
Tsaka you get to build connection with the artist.
True.
Ano yung citation ba? Ito parang ginigrate ako.
Pero I guess...
Pero tama, you also get to build connections and pwede na ba? Or mamaya pa?
Go, Jaira muna.
Sige.
Hindi, yun nga, you get to build connections with them. And aside from that, parang rin nagkakaroon ng sense of familiarity. For example, dahil madalas na, hindi ko alam sinasadya nyo ba, kapag SB19 yung coverage, hindi kayo free. So, usually ako yung
Gusto mo naman.
Deserve naman.
usually ako yung pumunta to the point na nakikilala na ako ng staff nila.
Yeah.
Diba? So, there's that certain level of familiarity that happens, that takes place within that space. Tapos nakakatuwa kasi nga, when they get to know you, then nagsa-start na yung nagkakaroon na kayo ng connections. Not just with the manager, with their management, but with the artists themselves. Kasi, 'di ba, ilang beses ko na ba silang nakausap na tanong, ilang beses na ba kaming nagka-interact, diba? So parang, that's also one good thing about it. Nakaka-interact mo yung, yun.
Were there any times na parang, kasi diba, face-to-face po sila, and you're like a super big fan. So were there any times na nahirapan ka mag-keep ng composure? Like as a
Parang hindi.
fangirl?
Oh, she a professional. Oo naman, commendable.
Hindi
Oh,
talaga
sa live
kasi
job,
feeling ko,
tinitinan ka namin.
kapag trabaho na, mas lumalamang yung shit, I should not fuck this up.
True.
Yeah.
Diba?
Kasi mas nakakahiya yun.
At saka you always, personally, I always wanted for them to be more comfortable when they're talking to me.
Yeah.
And that won't happen kung nagagush over them. 'Di ba? So parang how would they to be able to get to that level of comfort, kailangan number one, professional, number two, kailangan chill lang. So, 'di ba,
Yeah.
chill,
True.
yun.
Tsaka ayun, I think we've also mentioned it before, but this is also an opportunity. I think every fans want their favorite artist to get the best outcome, or like to just get what's best for their career.
Yeah.
And to be given that opportunity, lalo na as someone who has like the platform
Yeah.
to let other people know na, kasi honestly, it's such a big responsibility. Like one wrong misinformation that we provide, it could affect their
Exactly.
career. So, speaking, that's like a good thing and a bad thing. Yeah, speaking of bad thing, let's go with the bad things. Yeah, marami ko kasi naisip. Yeah.
Bad thing?
Yeah.
Hindi naman siya
Hindi naman
bad thing.
bad
Pero
thing,
feeling ko
like,
talaga nabudol ako nung pinagdala nila ako ng camera.
Kasi
I'm
mahirap
looking at
talaga
you,
siya.
Naoki, Jeff,
Sobrang hirap talaga siya.
Errol.
Tsaka mainly physical work rin.
Sobrang bigat nung camera is all I can say. Pero okay lang kasi ang ganda. Yun lang yung sa akin. Personally, yun lang talaga. Yun lang yung naalala ko na bad experience. Kasi the groups I cover. The groups I try to work with, sila, hindi naman sila nag bigger venues. So usually it's not the biggest. I mean, hindi sila sobrang, so parang manageable naman. So walang ganong kasamang experience. How about you?
Back to me. Char. But for me, I guess it's having to handle, kung may biglaan, if there's situations na may biglaan. Like for example, nung nag-live tweet ako, a concert promoter went to me and said I have to delete the tweets sa my photos bigla because,
Bawal.
parang bawal. But then in the guideline, it said na pwede naman photos and videos. So I had to rush outside of the arena just to delete. And then
So you deleted kahit sinabi nila na pwede?
I mean, like, what I mean is,
Kasi like, yun yung problem na sobrang last minute changes most of the time. Like,
yeah.
going yung concert, sometimes they would message you, oh, sorry, we just like had received a message from the management, from the blah, blah, blah.
all the time sa
yeah,
K-pop.
yeah, that happens. Like, I got tapped on the shoulder by the media person. So, like, I felt like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, of course, we don't want to lose our connection with
True,
them.
exactly.
So, we really have to comply. But then also, you also want to get the more memorable moments of the concert.
Yeah.
So, in a way, also, it's a good thing because it teaches you time management, how to, savor the moments then, and also, try to see what can you do? How can we be proactive in this situation?
Tsaka given that it's something that happens, lalo na for this year, almost like there was a time that, I think it was around months of May, June, almost every weekend, may kino-cover ako. Tapos to the point na sa isang...
Almost every weekend.
Tama, every weekend.
Nagpapalo
Every
ka.
weekend. Tsaka puno yun. Like sometimes Saturdays and
And
Sundays.
Sunday,
Puno
yeah.
na matulog ako sa MOA Arena talaga. And honestly, I got burnt out. Like after I specifically honestly decided, like I told Margie na, oh my God, I'm gonna lie low for the next months. Like, if hindi ko to gusto, like if I'm not familiar with this artist, like I'm gonna be more strict kung sino yung i-cover mo. Kasi the more you accept things, the more you have to be responsible. Ang daming deliverables. And like for every event, that's like 5 deliverables yung equation niya. So if I'm covering 5 events, that's 25 deliverables. Pero hindi ko naman ata kaya yun on top of my daily workload.
Yeah.
And
Ay, sorry. I was gonna ask kasi na parang
You got burnt out,
Yeah.
and it's not always
Fun.
fun.
Gusto ko,
naman.
pero gusto ko sabihin like also the amount of mental effort din to memorize the members,
Yeah.
ganon. Like, I really wondered din like how do you manage to do that? Kasi like, medyo ako like medyo few concerts. But then compared to the workload ganyan, that effort, the effort it takes is,
Oh, it's not always.
And also the mental energy it takes to deal with management and
with the
artists.
fans.
With the fans. yung lahat ng external forces
Forces,
that
oo.
come with the artist. Kasi syempre, mamaya yung fans, wala po bang ganito?
Oh my God, did you know? Sometimes, nagko-cover akong events, may mga nagme-message sa akin sa Twitter, saan po ba yung press conference niyan? Tapos parang, pwede niyo po bang isulat yung pangalan ko at picture at
pwede po,
Oo, please.
Pero yung sa akin
Shout
nalala, pwede po bang lagyan nyo ng subtitle?
pwede,
Te, parang, we can only do so much.
Understaffed kami.
pwede palusot po ng tao sa loob, ganon. Ganon, like,
Yeah,
I
I
get
think,
DMs.
that's also,
Also the
part of,
external
that's also
forces.
part of the job. Like, you have to
Yeah.
learn where to find the balance. Kasi, obviously, as a fan, you also get to know where they're coming from. Like, okay,
Yeah.
gusto nila naman.
Yeah.
Gets mo naman, kasi naiintindihan mo sila. But also, like, am I paid enough for this?
Pero, alam mo, going back to another good thing. Kasi, di ba, when you get to interact with the outside forces, I have to point this out because this is one of the good things na hindi ko wala na-mention kanina. It's good that we get to see how the fans work, how the fandoms
True.
work. Kasi personally, I've always been so fascinated. I've said this everywhere. So fascinated with fandoms and how they work, how they organize themselves,
Yeah.
how they mobilize themselves. And when you cover artists and when you cover acts or groups or I don't know, musicians, you get to see how the supporters, how the people,
Come together.
and work to promote or to support or whatever. And it's always so fascinating kasi sabi ko, iba talaga. Like it's something else. Nakakatuwa seeing groups of people come together. Na literally hindi sila magkakakilala, gets.
Yeah.
So it's so fun to see that, to see communities like that. And it's always a thought of mine na parang kaya naman talaga ng mga tao mag-come together when there's a strong purpose, when there's a strong cause that binds them. So,
And medyo agree din ako with Jaira because the amount...
so agree.
Parang ako medyo. Sorry! Parang ako medyo kasi.
Medyo pa rin.
Medyo. Char,
That was the best point.
But I do agree kasi the amount of effort that they have to put, it goes more than like what we as media people would have to go through, especially with management. The amount of like going to the concert promoters, going to the artist management just to get a fan project done. It's a lot. So you really get to appreciate then the effort that they've done and the emotions that they go through after seeing their fan projects come to life.
Exactly. Like, sometimes, diba, usually naman, since we cover K-pop events, we know how, like, K-pop groups always say na, iba naman, like, Philippine fans are different.
Yeah,
Syempre,
yeah.
tas
They're
sa
so
ano
loud.
to, parang, okay, kami yung pinakamaingay. Woo!
Kami yung pinakamagaling.
Magaling, sweet namin.
So,
Ganun,
nag-aaway
syempre,
na sila.
believe naman tayo dyan. Tapos, obviously, like, also, as someone who's, like, closely following fandom communities, we saw, like, remember how the K-pop Frileni
Yeah,
Yes.
they
the
mobilize.
P-pop so sobrang, even like, those are huge causes, but
Yeah.
those are also like evident when it comes to like covering these events. Like,
Yeah.
these fan projects, yung mga banners na nakikita nyo, that cost like 100,000 pesos
Hindi
yung
lang
mga
sila
banners.
nagpa-banners, nag-LED billboard pa
Te,
sila. Hindi ko kaya. Hindi ko
Sa-
kaya talaga.
Saan nila nakukuha yung pera? That's my main question.
At bumibili pa sila ng concert ticket.
And how do they have the money for
At
donations?
namimigay pa sila ng mga freebies.
Tapos yung mga donations, ganun.
Tama.
Amazing. Fandoms are the future.
We love you, fandom. We
And
love
that
you.
is why we have this show.
Yay!
Yay!
This show is made of because we wanted to cover fandoms and we wanted, we wanted to give these people a platform.
Okay. Going back to
Ayun, so going back to building connections, as you mentioned kanina. So, di ba syempre, you're working with like the same set of people madalas. So, do you have any advice that you can give for other people covering artists in terms of building connections with the management and the artists themselves?
Kayo masyadong Gina G. Ikalma nyo. I think yun for me. Ikalma nyo lang.
Oo, kasi, oo na, dinagdagan. Pero honestly, this industry is like a very tight-knit. Like,
Yeah.
yung mga pinupuntahan mo, kilala mo kung sino pupunta dyan. Like,
Mhm.
they're the same organizers, they're the same media people, they're the same producers. So, you have to really, like, foster this connections. Kasi sometimes, like, I mean, ang dami kasi sentiments sometimes ng fan na hindi nila nagigets kasi they're not aware of what the producers or the management are going through.
Yeah.
And as someone that you have access to both, you have the opportunity to like make
To
these,
bridge them.
to bridge
Yeah.
those. Tapos ayun, it's in terms of like these connections, honestly, one wrong move, you could lose a lot. Like, mamaya may hindi ka lang masubmit or
Yeah.
and it's not just because we want to like kiss asses or
Yeah.
like make sure na lagi tayong in the good side. But I think that's also one of the responsibilities as a media personnel na you have to draw the line as to when you should call out other like producers, for example, and then when you should also like tell fans to calm down.
Calm
So
down.
yeah.
Exactly. And that balance is very hard to find.
Pero
I'm
ano,
so
wala
thankful-
siyang, parang ano mo lang.
Pero I'm
you
so
do
thankful
you.
that this newsroom is so. This newsroom is. It gives importance at mas naha-highlight palagi yung editorial independence. Na
True.
not because we're having close ties with these group of people or this kind of management or these producers or the fans doesn't mean we're gonna hold back on how we cover, what we write, things like that. So I think that's a great part of how we do our coverage of these things.
And I think there needs to be a sense of accountability. Not just because we are fans, we should also be accountable to everyone that are gusto ko sabihin stakeholder, medyo big word, pero who are like a stakeholder of these concerts. Kasi at the end of the day, we're all either winners or losers talaga if a controversy happens or if, a record number of people attend the concert, ganun. But yeah, so yeah.
Ayan. So, aside from building connections, I think one of the hardest thing in this job is like, hindi naman hardest thing, pero like one of the most,
Challenges.
feeling ko one of the most commonly asked question from people who are not familiar with how things work is how do you stay professional? Like, for example, if you have access, kasi we usually have access to things that not fans, other people are not
They're not,
familiar
yeah.
with. And sometimes we sign NDAs or like, so there's things na you have to like, sige, pikit mata na lang or like, okay, kunyari hindi ko narinig yun. So how do you deal with those things? Kasi ako nakatingin kasi
Sorry. How do you stay professional? Personally, you always have to.
you always have to.
Hindi. You always have to know where you draw the line. Hindi ko alam, ako lang yun ha. Hindi naman sinasabing
Hindi
required
naman ako
kayo.
expert.
Hindi ko naman sinasabing gayahin nyo yun. Pero you have to know where you draw the line. Na parang at the back of your mind, dapat palagi mong iniisip or palagi kang aware kung saan titigil yung pagiging fangirl mo at kung saan ka journalist.
Yeah.
So, yun. For me, that's it. Kasi kapag clear sa'yo kung saan yung tigil ng mga bagay, you may have a problem communicating it with people, but for yourself, alam mo siya. And siguro then, work on communicating it with other people. Work on communicating your line dun sa producers, sa management, sa artists. Work on communicating it with the fans.
I agree with same with Jaira, pero for me, I put the mindset that I represent Rappler, I represent also, a
Yeah.
newsroom. So I have to put out my best damn foot forward. Kasi if I don't, if I don't talaga, then that will hurt everyone in the process.
Yeah.
The fans, our fellow co-workers. And I think I've learned that throughout the year na, kung paano hinay-hinay lang at kung paano din, like, to put your best foot forward. Anyways, and it's a trial and error process, I guess.
Sa akin, hindi ko gusto yung trial-and-error. Hindi ko gusto yun.
Hindi pwedeng magkamali.
Feeling ko,
Hindi
ko
pwede
gusto
naman
yun.
din. Pero that's what happened to me. That's personal. But
Right.
Wag
Like
mo
your
ako-
personal experience was
Wag-
a trial and error.
Yeah, wag mo akong gayahin, please.
Right.
Emotional lang po ako, mga pe.
Tsaka it's a job, first and
Yeah,
foremost.
it's a job.
Like,
Yeah.
mawawalan ka ng trabaho if you're the side of NDA, tapos bigla mong
Yeah.
bagsisplok-splok. So,
Yeah.
honestly, some of my, yan yung laging inaano sa akin na parang, alam mo naman pala bakit hindi mo sinabi.
Yeah.
Te, ako yung makakasuhan dito
No.
kapag sinabi ko sa'yo. Tsaka, ano siya for me, I feel like, kasi usually, di ba, parang sometimes you see you get messages na parang, how do I apply to this kind of job? Kasi gusto ko makatrabaho yung favorite ko. I feel like that's
That's
for
so
me,
weird.
Yeah.
for me, if that's the main reason where you're going to pursue this,
You're
wag
not.
na lang sana.
Yeah.
Kasi if you're expecting people to talk to your favorite artist backstage, hindi po mangyayari yun. Most of the time, kapag sa concerts, hindi mo nga sila makakita.
Exactly.
Diba? Parang, it's not a place for you to like get up
Get
close
close
and
with them.
personal.
Yeah.
And that would be creepy. Diyan,
Yeah.
feeling ko mawawalan
I
ka ng
know.
trabaho.
Kahit,
Tsaka parang, no one does that.
kahit concert promoters, hindi din.
True. Like, there's specific rules in the workforce na you have to adhere to.
Yeah.
And you have to know what you're getting into in the first place. Kasi if you just gonna think, oh, it's gonna be easy peasy, na parang, I'm gonna put all my fangirl effort and energy into writing. No, it's not. You have,
Meron kang 5 na deliverable, sabi ni Isa.
kailangan mo din mag-backtrack din sa mga quotes mo kung tama talaga. Kasi one wrong word, magagalit mga fans. Magbabayad ang mga fans. So, you have to balance that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tama.
Don't do that.
Don't
Huwag kayong mag-a-apply para mag-cover. Tapos,
Oo,
dahil
kung
gusto nyo
ganun,
lang maging
hindi ka
ka-close.
matatanggap sila.
Kasi hindi kayo matatanggap.
Creepy
Yun.
na naman.
Huwag ganon. Hindi inuugali yun, guys.
No.
Yun. Pero, speaking of, like, was there ever a moment at work that you felt na, oh, parang I've made it as a fangirl or a fanboy?
Be, nung bumalik yung SB19 at nag-live jam, sabi ko talaga, ano na lang magiging personality ko kasi napabalik ko na sila. Pero yeah, I really think highlight yun ang career ko. Kasi, ang saya.
How about you?
Again, SB19, kung gusto nyo pang bumalik, let's go.
Go, Jaira. Trust Jaira. Anytime. Ako siguro, I didn't cover. I had my own ticket to pay din. Pero siguro the Twice recap article is like my biggest achievement as a fangirl. Kasi I didn't go to their concert in 2019. So having the privilege to finally, to witness them and to try to write what I saw, it was really a big honor for me kasi those are the people that you grew up with. Those are the people that you grew up with listening to. Ano yan, Jaira?
Akala niya chubby-chubby kayo dito.
Hindi naman ako
Guys,
chami-chami.
kayo grew up with?
Hindi naman. I mean,
Nakuli lang yung listening to. Ano
listening to, growing up listening to them.
Ah,
You feel a sense of grabe.
Right, the connection.
I was a teenager listening to them, and I was still too broke to now I can afford to watch them and about.
Good job!
Not afford. I mean, privilege po tayo. But to write about them, to have that privilege, it's really beautiful, and it kind of reflects the beauty of being an adult now. But still know your bounds. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, feeling ko, ang una kong fangirl moment talaga was si James Reid.
James Reid talaga! Yan ang kwento mo.
If
Kwento mo yan.
may grew up with, ako yun at si James.
Literally, okay guys,
High school pa lang.
College kami ni Isa. Fan na siya ni James Reid.
High school pa lang.
Nang high school pa lang. Nung college kami, literally guys, meron siyang una na James Reid! Oh my God!
Anyway, pumasok po ako ng ABS-CBN. I was from ABS-CBN dati. At nag-ABS-CBN ball ako para kay James Reid.
Kita nila yung gagawin yun.
May picture na po kami, nag-resign na po.
Huwag nyo nang gagawin yun.
No.
Huwag kayong
That's my
papasok
advice.
sa trabaho just to fangirl kasi nag-resign nga siya.
Ayan. Ang next na ay 17. Alam niyo ba, yung tweet ko about sa concert ng 17, sigaw ko lang daw yung narinig ko. Sabi na nanay ko, nagtitita ako. Oo, nagtitita ako, nagpo-perform na. 17 is performing out. Tapos sabi na nanay ko, bakit rinig yung sigaw lang ako, hindi na naririnig yung performance.
O, nabash ka pa ng nanay.
Tama. That's another not to.
Huwag yung gagawin talaga. Hindi maganda yun.
Kaya, for our last question, ano po yung tips nyo at advice nyo para sa mga gusto pumasok sa industriya?
Na
To be like me.
mag-cover
Oo.
ng gano'n.
Sige ka.
Manage your expectations.
Sa akin, kung gusto niyo lang talagang maging ka-close yung mga artists, wag yung, well, don't. Don't do it. You don't know what you're getting into. Akala nyo fun siya. Well, it's fun, but it's not all fun. More often than not, it's really hard work. And it's fun seeing the beautiful side, the prestige of it, yung clout na nakukuha nyo. It's fun, pero hindi siya madali. I mean, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's hard work, and if you would want to be a fangirl, then just be a fangirl. There's more to it than you think. So, yan.
Ako, manage your expectations talaga. Especially, when covering these events. Like, minsan, like, when you video, minsan yung ginagawa ko lang, it's like, minsan nagli-lip-sync na lang ako in sense of like,
Para hindi
Minsan
ko
lang
naman
sumisigaw.
para hindi ako,
Lesson learned.
Ako ng video na sumisigaw.
Pero kasi hindi ko na mapanood that. Parang ako na lang sana yung nag-concert.
parang ako yung nakakontra dito.
Gusto
Parang,
ko marinig yung boses nila.
Alright.
boses ko pala. So, parang like, I think if you want to be in this industry, you have to do your research and learn how to adapt. Kasi there's a lot that will be thrown your way. So you have to, hugot yarn. But yeah.
Maiyak ka dyan.
Bakit? Pero there's a lot of things that will be thrown your way. So you really have to learn how to temper your expectations and temper your, delulu.
Because
Temper your
it's
delulu.
not fun. Yung paulit-ulit. Fun naman
Tsaka,
talaga, guys. Pero hindi lang siya lahat fun.
It's a responsibility.
Yeah.
With huge responsibility comes huge power.
Guys, ang bigat ng camera. Take away.
Oh, like, I mean, if you want to commit covering events, then you have to commit also to delivering related works. Kasi, oh my God, bad experiences ay yung mga hindi naman nagpo-push through. I mean, like, you ask them to cover these things, tapos biglang after they covered it, hindi na sila nagtatraba. I mean, hindi na nila binibigay
Walang
yung work
follow
after.
through.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
So, that's another advice. Don't be like that.
Juno, how about you? What's your advice?
Ako same. Like, kasi, they really remember you talaga kapag like, they remember people from your workplace kapag hindi sila nakaka-follow through on promised deliverables.
I don't think it's just...
For reference, it was an intern. Hindi po kami ganun.
Yeah.
And I don't think...
Just to clarify.
For the record.
And hindi lang management, kahit yung mga ka-work mo din from other media outlets. So, it's
Mga beatmates mo.
mga beatmate mo. So, important talaga na you really show your best. Kasi if you really show your best, they will really know na you are that person that does your best. Regardless if you are a fangirl or fan ka ng group or eme dyan.
And I would like to thank Juno for bringing that up. Kasi I would like to take this opportunity to say sa mga gusto pong mag-intern sa LSE, sa section namin, please, kung mag-intern lang kayo kasi gusto niyo makita yung paborito niyong artista, makapunta sa concert, sinasabi ko
Huwag
na
niyong
it
gawin yun.
No.
Hindi. The more na gumanyan kayo, the more na
Hindi niya kayo tatanggawin.
hindi ko sasaluhin yung trabaho niyo.
Papala.
So, yun lang.
Parang sama-sama ng loob mo, no?
Oo talaga, ate, I have names. Kapag nakita ko in the future, sasabihin ko mismo sa mga organizers, don't. Anyway, that wraps up my standby.
Ayusin mo.
Totoo na yun, kasi baka may iba pa tayo masabi. That wraps up our last Stand By Me episode for this year.
So if you have topics that you want us to cover, hit us up on Rappler's social media accounts. I'm Gina Reyes.
And I'm Isa Bat. Thanks for watching.
See you next
See you
year.
next year.
Bye! Do your homework.